Welcome back, my legends, and today in honor of Father's Day, I decided to talk about each and every legend's father. So let's begin. So the first legend we're going to talk about is Watson. Now Watson's father, Luke Paquette, he and his daughter Watson were responsible for creating the ring. Now unfortunately for him, he was sick with some kind of lung disease, just like Caustic, which was revealed to us via the comics that Caustic does indeed have cancer. Which in the comics, Watson was kind of comparing what's happening with Caustic with what happened to her dad, which is kind of interesting seeing that two people that work with the syndicate just so happen to have the same disease. It makes you wonder. But yeah, either ways, Watson goes in the dead dad list. So the next person we're going to talk about is Valkyrie. Now we now know is that Valkyrie's dad is the infamous Viper. Now the thing that's interesting about this is that I was hoping maybe Viper can come back as Simulacrum, but unfortunately the writers kind of confirmed that they burned his body, so no Simulacrum coming back. So unfortunately for us, Viper is 100% dead and he's never coming back. So Valkyrie stays in the dead dad list. Congratulations. Now the next dead dad we're going to talk about is Marcos Andrade, Lova's dad. Now Lova's dad was unfortunately killed by Revenant. We all know that, but what's interesting is that Lova has not really gone after the person that sent Revenant. You see, Lova's dad and her mom basically stole something from a rich person, and that rich person contacted the syndicate and put a bounty on Marcos Andrade to have him assassinated, and Lova has not really gone after that person specifically. My guess somewhere in the future they're going to address it, but as of now, Lova's dad is dead. Sorry. The next person we're going to talk about is Bloodhound. Now Bloodhound literally saw their dad get frozen to death by this explosion caused by the refinery. So what happened after that is that Arthur kind of became their father figure. Arthur was kind of like a boomer dad that didn't like technology just because it was new, and so what happened is that he tried to wrestle Goliath with his bare hands, and unfortunately he got bodied, saw that his whole village was getting literally destroyed, and Bloodhound saved the village using technology, and then realized, you know what, maybe technology is not that bad. Unfortunately he didn't realize that sooner and died. So Bloodhound, you go in the dead dad list. Now the next person we're going to talk about is Caustics Dad. Now unfortunately Caustics Dad died because of depression, because of what he thought happened to his son Alexander Knox, thinking he died in the Humber's Lab explosion. He died just because he missed them. And yeah, I'm just gonna move on. This one I'm not even gonna try to make a lighthearted joke about it. Your dad's dead. Now the next person we're going to talk about is Krypto. Now Krypto is an orphan, and I'm assuming that he lost his parents somewhere in the Outland Civil War, which is how he turned into an orphan, which means he has no dad, so you make it to the list. Now the next group of dads I'm gonna call the abusive now around dad. So Revenant's dad was verbally abusive to Revenant and always told him he's trash and never be anything in life.
My lazy, worthless double one. Huh, what a disgrace. I've made my point. You're a complete failure. You're finally thinking like me. About time.
So what did Revenant do?
I once had a father who talked to me like that. Once.
But moving on from that, we're going to go to Octane. Now Octane's dad is kind of mentally abusive, where he wants Octane to be just like him. Whatever he likes it or not, he wants him to carry his legacy by force, which obviously that's not going to happen. Octane has no interest in doing that. Octane just wants to be Octane, but Eduardo Silva doesn't care. He wants a son that he envisioned carrying on his legacy. In other words, he could care less about what Octane wants, and it's more about what Eduardo Silva wants. So yeah, Octane's dad goes on this list. Now the next dad I'm going to talk about is Mirage's dad, Richard Witt. Now unlike the other dads, Richard Witt basically left the family because he felt like a failure of a dad, because apparently he was an inventor and all his inventions kept on failing, and because of this he just thought he wasn't worthy of being a dad or something like that. So even though I might have a bit of sympathy for Richard Witt, that's still kind of messed up leaving your family for that reason. So you go in the bad dad list. Now the next person we're going to talk about is Lifeline. Now a lot of people have said that Lifeline's parents just were war profiteers and they weren't that abusive. Well, the thing is that her parents were control freaks. Like, they wanted to control Lifeline's line even when she was like an adult. They kind of wanted to basically tell her how to live, how to feel, how to think, basically run her entire life. And so Lifeline's dad, you go in the bad dad list. Now for some some good dads. Now, we don't know anything about Fuse's dad, but it's kind of hinted that a lot of Savonians lost their lives in the Frontier War. So I have a feeling that Maggie's dad and Fuse's dad may have died in the war protecting their homeland, so they go in the good list. Now, the next person is Bangalore. Now, her dad, if you read the Pathfinder's quest book or have an idea about Bangalore's backstory, you understand that the Williams family have a strong family bond, and it's just, her dad's just great. I'm just gonna put her in the had a great dad list. Now, the next person right here is Horizon. Now, originally I had her here because, well, she became a scientist, and I'm guessing that her parents were supportive. But the more I thought about it, I realized that Horizon kind of represents single parents and having to raise a child by yourself. So in a way, I do count Horizon as a good dad, because just like any dad, she went to go get Brantium and never came back. Wait a minute. Now, the last person we're going to talk about is Gibby's dad. Now, Gibby's dad was in Ceros, which was basically like a search and rescue operation. And so what happened is that his dad was the one that saved Gibby and his boyfriend Nick from the mudslide incident, and that just makes him a good dad all around, even though technically Gibby kind of made him lose an arm, but I think he might get over it. And so for the people wondering why did I not talk about Rave or Rampart, is because we don't know anything about their past really, so I couldn't put them in the list. And thanks for watching, my legends, and I'll see you next time. Peace.
As I stumble in the dark, I was shattered, 'cause I'm finally unbreakable. Can I wish to ever know what's that color on my soul? Deep and burn inside, I feel like it hurts so bad.